Hi everyone, it's Lisa Brown with InkandInspirations.com, and in this video we're going to be making a card with this precious Zany Zebra stamp set from the Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog. And I've also chosen a pattern from the Artistry Blooms Designer Series paper, and I just love these colors. Look at all of these colors that are in this paper. And we'll be using this one right here on a card, and I've chosen to highlight the Calypso Coral and the Melon Mambo on our card today. So let's get started. I've got a Melon Mambo card base cut at 5.5 by 8.5, and we're just going to meet those two corners and give it a good crease with a bone folder. So important to get that good crease for your card making. And now we're going to work on building up with some layers. So I have a piece of Whisper White cardstock that is cut 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And we're going to build up on top of this layer. Let me go ahead and move that. And to put over top, I have another piece of Melon Mambo. This is 2 by 5.5. And then I ran it through the Old World Paper 3D embossing folder. Then I trimmed it down to 5 1/4 in length. Now, many times when you use an embossing folder that has lots of texture, it can shrink up your cardstock a bit. So cut your paper a little longer than you need and then trim it down to the right size. And then I have this other piece that will match, and it is that Artistry Blooms Designer Series paper cut at 2 by 5 1/4. Okay, so what we're going to do is go ahead and mount these over top of this Whisper White. And I chose the Whisper White because, first of all, there's some in the paper here, and I wanted these two layers to really pop off the Melon Mambo base. So we're going to use some liquid glue and attach both of these pieces. I like to use the liquid glue when I have especially a textured piece because it's not flat and even and it gets in those grooves. Okay, and then this one's just going to be right along next to that. So let's go ahead and put this on. Look at those beautiful greens on the back of that. Just gorgeous. The Designer Series papers in the Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog for 2020, 2021 are absolutely beautiful. All right, so there we have our background for our main image. But I wanted to use some ribbon, so the next thing to do is use some ribbon if you're going to choose to do that. Another option would be a thin strip of Whisper White down the center there. But I'm going to use some of this crinkled seam binding ribbon in Whisper White, and I'm going to tie it toward the top here. And it's kind of like a border between the two pieces, but it also just makes the white pop out from the background layer that we're using and the designer paper. Okay, it's going to be easier if I cut that. So when I use ribbon going around a card layer like this, I usually cut it about 18 inches long, or sometimes even longer, just to give me enough to work with. So in this particular card, I'm just going to tie a knot. This ribbon is so soft and pretty and doesn't add a lot of bulk to your card. Great for card making. Okay, so let me just trim this off. Okay, I think I cut a little bit too much off of that side, so I'm going to do a little bit of adjusting there. Okay, and then I'm going to slide it down a bit. So I just tied my knot a little tighter, and that's going to make just the right size. Okay, so now this is going to go over top here, but let's work with our main image. I've already done the stamping on this little zebra. It's the one he's kicking up his heels. And so for these types of whimsical cards, you could leave it just like this, black and white, but I've decided to choose to use the Calypso Coral to bring this out from the designer paper. So I have Calypso Coral Dark, and so we're going to have a very whimsical, fantasy-like zebra. So cute. So I'm just coloring over his stripes very easily, just using one color, no shading, nothing too difficult, and really easy. I think this would make a great card for a little girl, birthday card, with this color scheme, and how fun. Okay, let's do the tail a little bit, and then I'll come over here and get these stripes on his legs and the hoofs. Okay, that looks good to go. Super easy. So then I decided I was going to put it over here on this side, and I wanted him or her to stand out a little bit from the background. So I used my layering squares dies and chose a Whisper White scallop to put behind this beautiful glimmer paper. It's a rainbow glimmer paper that has many colors. I'll show you a piece here. You definitely need to add this to your supplies. You can see I've used a lot of the yellow and oranges, but look how it just graduates. And I just chose the correct colors that I needed for this particular card. And so let's go ahead and layer these up, and then we can mount our little zebra, and it'll be so cute. Okay, again, these were the layering squares dies. And I'm going to, instead of squaring it off, I'm going to make it like a diamond here. And I'm going to glue that right there, and then our little zebra is going to go over top. So let's go ahead and put some glue there, and it's going to go over the ribbon and partially onto the designer paper. And then we can do our little zebra. Just like that. Okay, let's do a sentiment. We're going to do a simple sentiment here. And I'm going to stamp Kick Up Your Heels, and I'm going to do that in, I think I'm going to go ahead and use basic black. I could use Melon Mambo. Let's see what that looks like. Let's just see. And then if not, we'll, yeah, that's going to work. I like it. Okay, let's go ahead and punch this out. This is the classic label punch. And okay, and then we are going to line that up right there. And then let's go ahead and put our layer on the front of our card base. And I see my ribbon's twisted a little bit back here. I'm not going to worry about it. It's thin enough ribbon where it's not going to make any difference. As long as I have it straight and not twisted on the front, we're good. And then I've done the inside of the card, 4 by 5 1/4 of Whisper White, stamped another little zebra on the inside, colored him, and then this time it says it's time to celebrate. So this would be perfect for a birthday card. Now hang in there, and I'm going to show you a card made much like this one, but going in a different color scheme and using some more of that glimmer paper. So here's this, and I already have the envelope ready with some designer paper there. Now look at this color. Same designer paper pack, but using the navy and the Bermuda Bay and the Granny Apple Green. And then I've colored him with Bermuda Bay and used the different part of that glimmer paper. Okay, I hope you'll give that a try. If you have any questions, let me know. Visit my website at inkandinspirations.com, where you can find the details for these cards as well as the links to shop to make these cards for yourself. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.